Oh my god. Good job.
Forgot to hit record. Yep.
Got to hit record. Wow, we're super professional, Psycho. We need a catchphrase.
I have a catchphrase.
Okay.
Okay.
What is it?
Oh, you want to know what it is?
Well, I want to know what it is because we still need a catchphrase. Like,
I don't really want to tell you what the catchphrase is because you always don't like the catchphrase. So
well,
we needed a catchphrase. I came up with a catchphrase. That's it.
okay, well then I say no because if it was truly good enough, you would be willing to share. And since you're not brave enough to share, obviously it's not good enough. I mean, you stand by your work.
I
You
stand
don't.
by. No, I stand by my work. Of course I do.
I don't think you do though, because if you did,
It's a
you would
great
like.
catchphrase.
But I don't believe you.
It's wonderful.
Hey,
100%.
I thought up the formula for immortality. It's in my head, but I don't want to tell you.
Good. Don't tell me.
Well, yeah. Do you
Then you
actually
get
believe
to
that I
live
thought?
forever and I don't. That's
Yeah.
the,
Do you actually believe that I thought it up though? Do you? I don't think you do.
No, I do. I believe everything you say.
Okay.
I'm a good friend.
You owe me $1 million, by the way.
Great. Well,
You
I'll work
believe
on
that,
that
right?
for you. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I'll work on that
Pay,
for you.
pay me $100 tomorrow.
I don't have $100.
Okay. Okay.
Do
Then
you believe
borrow.
me?
I don't.
So you're a bad friend.
I guess I'm a terrible friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, okay. Well, all right, fine. I'll come up with a fake catchphrase for next week.
Okay. All right. Because every other catchphrase will just be a fake catchphrase from now on.
From now on, all of them will be faux or faux. I like that word better.
Faux. Okay.
F A
All right.
U X.
Yeah. It's a French word.
It's a French word. Nice. Okay.
Okay.
Who are we?
I am Eric Schwartz, and you are,
Keegan Shiner.
and together we are.
Dumb comic creators.
You got it this time.
Yep.
Today we have a very special guest, who we were referring to as Psycho. That is his artistic name, and kayfabe is still alive to me. Damn it. That's also a wrestling term. Uh,
Okay. Yeah.
so
Lost me on that.
yeah, kayfabe's like the belief that there's actually like the Undertaker is really an undead guy from beyond the grave. That Kane is from hell. All that good stuff. All those famous wrestlers.
So that things
Stone
are
Cold Steve
real
Austin.
that you're watching. Yes.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah.
So we will maintain that Psycho. That was how he was born and raised. His name was Psycho by given to his parents by Psych and his dad Psycho.
I
Together they made Psycho.
I see. Where's your
Yeah,
microphone?
it's right here.
Is it on?
It better be. I plugged it in.
Okay.
If it's not, that's very upsetting.
Okay. No, I hear
Yeah.
it.
Okay, you hear it. Good.
Speak into it.
I'm speaking into it.
Okay. No, that's better. Maybe put it in front of you.
It isn't. Whatever. I'm done.
That's much better. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So, Psycho.
I'm just having fun
AK.
watching you guys pretty much abuse each other back and forth.
Well, that was part of the spiel. Part of the
Yeah, I
spiel
told,
is that we do like each other.
yeah, we actually contrary to popular belief, we actually hang out outside this podcast. Now that
Good to know.
Keegan's, yeah, Keegan was hanging out with me on Friday. We were doing board games and stuff.
Yep.
That's cool.
Wait.
Right.
So your name is Psycho, and are you wearing a shirt that says Psycho on it?
Actually, yes.
Did
We
you
gotta
get
promote the band, the brand, and everything. So
Did you get that custom made?
this one, yeah,
Yeah.
Nice.
special order shirts. Yeah,
Oh wow.
got shirts, hats, stuff like that.
Okay. All his stuff will be below in the spiel or the information on YouTube and on the podcasts wherever you can find them.
Yeah.
So buy his stuff. He's a starving artist. So because everyone's a starving artist.
Uh,
Everybody is.
so, Psycho, how did you get started doing comics?
Actually, at a very, very young age, when I was about like 5 years old. Um, Interesting story was I was in like second grade or something like that. I didn't think I could draw. I was like really like, I don't like it, da da da, you know. And then I had a teacher, Miss Taft. I still remember her, and she was like, "Oh, you have to draw this. You have to draw. This is art class. You have to draw." So I'm like, but I don't like it. And I was kind of nervous. I thought everybody in the classroom knew how to draw, and I didn't. So I remember watching Conan the Barbarian the night before. So I'm like, you know what? I'll try drawing something like that. But before I did that, I took the number 2 pencil and I broke it, thinking that she would not give me another pencil. And then she did.
Oh
I'm
no.
like, oh, shit. So now I was forced to draw. So I did like a little doodle, Conan the Barbarian, and she made a big deal out of it. She was like, oh my God, this is pretty good, I was like, I'd never tried it before. I never tried it. Not even to doodle or, like kids at home, they draw
Yeah.
with crayons. And then I kind of liked it. And I liked the attention it brought from the other classmates. So I'm like, you know what? Let me go home. Let me do a little more. And then I kept practicing. Thundercats came along. He-Man came along. I started drawing those. I started like stapling little pages together, making little comic books, after school, stuff like that. And then really got into it. Then I started going like submissions to Marvel, DC when I was like 15 years old. And then took it from there, kept going and really got into it. And then just made it part of my daily life, pretty much.
So for a little background, you're a comic book artist. Obviously, that was the whole story that you just told us.
Correct.
What is your company and kind of what are your projects right now?
What we're doing now is basically it's under Enemy Entertainment. Enemy Entertainment used to be back in 2007. We started off as a publishing venture, and then we went into catalogs. And we went with Haven Distribution back then, and they distributed a lot of indie comics, stuff like that. And we had a pretty good catalog. We had like a lot of independent creators in there. And some are now no longer here with us anymore, but there is a majority that still is. And when we did the Enemy catalog, we had a lot of people. We had Zenscope in there. We had a couple of like image stuff in there. We had like pretty big indie names come in on it, and we were shocked. And then that fell apart because the partner at the time, he went to something else to do like films and stuff like that. So we broke off of that, and then I just kept it on my own. So I kept publishing. I did Vengeance #1 back then, Children of the Moon back then, convention shows and such. And then I went away for a little bit. Life happened, family, kids, this and that, stuff gets in the way. And basically came back recently, like the past like 3-4 years actually. Came back like with a vengeance, came back like with a priority to do something about it. And now being back, a lot of doors have opened. And there's been a lot of doors that have been opened, but I never ventured into them. You know what I mean? So it was kind of my mistake back then that I didn't venture into territories that were open for me.
You mean kind of where was it youth that you just kind of didn't see the doors, or was it kind of purposeful that you missed the doors, or was it just the life stuff that got in the way of those doors?
No, life stuff got in the way, to be honest. And then, some health issues got in the way that I needed to fix up. I had stenosis and stuff like that, and I was getting busy a lot, and so I had to take like a good year to take care of that.
Yeah.
But now thank God that's done.
Yeah.
It's over with. I don't have it, because that was a major issue for me. I'm like, wait a minute, I draw, so I'm always hunched over, my neck, my back, it's very important. So it had to be taken care of, and thank God it went the way it did. Obviously there's still a lot of progress there. You gotta keep on it, be careful with it. Because obviously I could sit there and draw for like 8 hours a day and then still have that pain and, sleep at night and, in the morning, you're like, a truck ran over you, so there was a few things that got in the way, and now I'm back and I've been promoting myself left and right, doing, I'm having a book coming out called The Bionic Caveman. And the funny thing with The Bionic Caveman is that that book, I had it since 2008, and it was always on the back burner. I thought that the character was not the greatest. So I always promoted other stuff, other books I was doing. And then when I put it up on Instagram and I put it up on social media, the reaction was like unbelievable. I'm like, wait a minute, people are really interested in this?
Yeah.
I kept going and kept going and kept going. And then the fan art came in from all around the world. And I'm like, where is all this fan art? Because you know what? When somebody takes the time to sit there and draw your stuff, you got to think about like this person took the time and sat there and he drew this.
Right. You must
Some
like
person
must
still-
like it. Yeah.
Yes, from Brazil, from Colombia, from Middle America, like all over. And I'm like, the interest is there. So right now, I'm currently almost finished wrapping up the Bionic Caveman #1, and also affiliated with the Bionic Caveman. We're doing the Bionic Caveman and the Grok with my good pal over in London, Jalal Nasir. He
Okay.
has an amazing character, and we became friends throughout the past 2 years. He's excellent. This guy's a great artist, fantastic guy. You guys should have him on as well. He is a really, really cool dude. And
Cool. Cool.
we're doing a project together, which is a big ass graphic novel with our both characters meeting for the first time. Bionic Caveman #1 is almost wrapped up. And now, currently, what I'm going at now is a 40-page first issue premiere of Blood Sable with Wake Comics. And
Okay.
Blood Sable is a very, very interesting character. Dwayne Doherty, who created him, very, very fantastic kid, great creator. I don't know if you guys follow him or write Destro on Instagram. You can find him on my stuff and you can follow him. Amazing. He has so many characters that he came up with. And it's like unique characters. And Blood Sable is a really, really unique character. The quick jizz of Blood Sable is he's a character, superhero type. It reminds you a little bit of the 90s type feel to it. And from his hands, he just produces blood. And from blood, he could create any weapon. He could create discs and knives and swords and all this stuff, you know. And as a matter of fact, today I finished up the first cover to the first issue.
Oh, cool.
I finished it up today. I actually have it behind me here. So this is the first issue cover right there.
Oh, wow.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The character himself.
Also, like the fact that like the weapons feel like they're alive because you know they're made of blood. That's a really cool concept.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept, you know, because he can make so many things out of blood, like axes and swords, and it's like unlimited, you know, potential with that character. And it's a great story. I don't want to give too much away on it, but it's going to be on Kickstarter. It's a great, great story. You know, it's something. It's going to be a lot of fun to draw too. And then the other part we're doing with Jorge Medina from Crazy Comics at Catch the Craze, and we're doing Wonder Duck and the Bionic Caveman, 8 pages with him. So it's like a lot of stuff. The plate is full, you know, a lot of stuff came in within 1 year. A lot of stuff came down. And I think it also had to do with the pandemic.
Right, right.
I think that, to be honest, it's not all credit to me promoting and all that. It's, you know, a lot of people were home. A lot of people got creative. A lot of people sat there and, you know, finally did what they wanted to do. They had all the time available. They're like, okay, you know what? Let me work on that character. Let me work on this. You guys might say, let me work on our podcast. I mean, you know, like it makes you. The pandemic is, you know, it has its good and its bad.
Yeah.
You know, the good is that a lot of people became more creative. You know, a lot of families got more closer. A lot of families got more separated.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's what it is. You know, it kind of helped in a way.
It was a
Like,
catalyst, at least. Yeah.
Such a bad thing, and it kind of brought out good in others. You know what I mean? So it helped me too, because I sat there and I focused and I did a lot of stuff. And I'm like, okay, you know what? And all that free time for everybody, including the creators involved, they had the free time to do it, and that's how it meshed in. 1, 2, 3. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So so you said you started drawing the Bionic
You're on mute,
Caveman.
Keegan.
Oh. You said you started drawing the Bionic Caveman in the last 3 years? Is that
The Bionic Caveman
the last
was
year?
No, the Bionic Caveman was basically an idea from 2008
Okay.
that I thought was nothing. You know, because I have a few random ideas. I throw it in the back burner. And then I got up one morning and I saw it. I'm like, let me see about this, you know. So the story of the Bionic Caveman is it's a caveman.
Yeah.
He's found in the Antarctic, brought back to life. And they brought him back to life to, you know, learn from back then how they used to live and all that. And he works for the government. He's a spy. He's a hero for us, you know, the American. He has a bionic arm, bionic eye. And, you know, he works for us. He doesn't know how to talk yet. He talks like the Incredible Hulk.
Okay.
You know, so he has that kind of lingo, that kind of language. He's in love with one of the girls, Dina, who's at the plant where they work, at the government plant. And this is actually the cover to the first issue. Right there.
Nice.
That is also on your Instagram, correct? I believe
Yeah,
so.
correct. And it's also Bionic Caveman on Instagram as well. And on that, also the thing that I mentioned before is the Bionic Caveman and the Grok.
Right.
That's Jalal Nasir's character, the Grok over there.
Just
So this is
amazing.
going to
Yeah.
be a nice graphic novel. The story is very, very interesting. They get sucked up in a battle planet first time they meet, and it's just chaos. It's just they go off on everything.
It's so cool. It's like
Next,
different universes colliding via
In
Instagram.
a way, yeah. Different
Yeah.
universes, different stuff. You know, it's like I'm trying to deal with everybody. You know, people that I've met, people that I know. I'm also trying to help out whoever I can. At the same time, there's a lot of great talent out there.
I always ask this question, and you definitely seem to be an expert to ask. What do you recommend for new artists or new people or like people like you who take advantage of the new like ways of like technologies of sharing stuff, Instagram and stuff? Like just any quick spiel to recommendations.
Well, the thing is, there's plenty of talent out there. You understand? There's a lot of talent. If you look up all the independent titles and all the stuff that's coming up, there's like incredible talent out there, incredible creators that are not given the doorway to open it. Others are given the doorway, but you know what it is. It's part of business. I have this great character. If I go to Marvel and DC, they're going to just rip it apart. They're going to rip me off, and then that's it. You're not going to get your money's worth. You're going to get it taken right under your belt. You know, it's like, and that's what keeps back a lot of creators. And then there's financial situations. You put it on Kickstarter, will it work? Will it not? You know, you go to so many conventions and they get disappointed because the conventions, you know, let's be honest, the convention shows are very expensive. Okay, tables alone for indie people, tables alone are like $700.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it depends what state you're in. So it's like, it's expensive. And then when they go there, they don't sell anything.
Right.
You know, and then they get let down. It's not, if you go to a show and you don't sell anything, you know, you get let down. You go home, you're like, I just wasted $650 and I made $6.50.
Right.
So they feel, you know, deterred, like, oh, maybe this is not working, but there's a lot of heavy competition. So right now, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, or whatever have you, just keep promoting, connect with the right people. That's the main key. Connect with the right people. You know, if you know a friend from a friend and companies and this and that, connect with the right people, the right talent, and something will happen eventually. And don't stray away. Don't say, oh my God, this year I didn't make $1 million.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
No.
You know, and also never be afraid. I've learned one thing in life. You never be afraid of anything. Knock on doors, make phone calls, and never say, this person's never going to talk to me. Because the person you think that you're not going to talk to, you will. Believe me, it happened to me. It happened to a few friends of mine. It will. If you think that you cannot talk to Netflix about your idea, you're wrong. If you think you cannot talk to Amazon about your idea, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Knock on the doors. Make it happen. You know, put it together, put a package, do it right. You know, if you're going to make it your life goal, make it your life goal. You know, don't let anything stop you. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't matter because you got your product done. You did what you enjoy. You did what you love. You know, like you guys, you're doing this show here. This is what you like to do.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully it takes off and it becomes fantastic.
If not,
You know?
we really enjoy meeting artists
I
like
know,
yourself,
the
you know, I
fact
mean,
that, like,
yeah.
So, I mean, just point blank, get to see your artwork made this entire review. You could spend the entire time going, you guys think. I'm like, doesn't matter. You got to see Psycho's art. Win for me.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. No, it's not that. You know, even with you guys, you know, you promote your show, you make it happen.
Mhm.
You know, if it doesn't, who cares?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, did you do what you love? Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you continuing to do it? Yes, you are.
Mhm.
Do some people agree with it? No. Do some people like it? No. Do some people, you know, that's the way it is. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
You have to, you know, that's just the way it is. You got viewers? Who cares? You got your videos, you got your memories, your friends, obviously, really good friends, you could tell. So that's it. That's what matters. This is just short. Life is short. So you got to do what you like. If this is what you like, that's what it is. You know, if you don't make it, who gives a fuck?
It's a good mantra. Yeah.
That's a very good mantra.
Yeah.
No, it's the truth.
Of course, coming from a guy named Psycho, that's kind of exactly what I expected you to say. I'm just going to be the cynic in the room. Like, Eric, what did you expect him to say? Don't have any fear.
I'm not surprised when Psycho said, "Quote: I'm not scared of knocking on doors." Like, of course not. You're Psycho. I'm anything. I'm surprised you even bother knocking on the doors. I'm surprised you didn't let yourself in. And be like, this is my room now. I'm sorry, it's
I'm
mine.
not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. You know,
I mean, pretty much everyone who answered the door was like,
Yeah.
"Who's this psycho?" Like,
Yeah.
and you were like, "Exactly."
Better answer that door.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
I'm glad you already know my name. Now I don't need to do introductions.
That's really good advice. So, like, yeah, following what you love. Were you formally trained as a comic book artist, or was it something that you kind of continued to work at?
No, I'm self-taught.
Okay.
I didn't go to school for art or anything like that. You know, I did try. I'm going to be honest with you. I did try to go to when it came about art and design in Manhattan.
Okay.
And then I remember I went there with my mom. And when I went there, first day of school, first day, we were supposed to introduce or whatever we were supposed to do over there. They were beating up each other in the lunchroom. I'm like, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. What are these people doing? You know, and it was just, I'm like, you know what? I don't need this. I don't need to, you know, the stress of traveling, going to the city and all that. I'll do it on my own. And I trained on my own. I did have an art teacher in junior high.
Okay.
His name, Mr. Eisenstadt, and he was fantastic. This guy was, you know, he wasn't per se my actual art teacher because I wasn't in his class, but he wanted me in his class. So he was an older gentleman. He's been there like years. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us anymore. I wish he was. And he was a great teacher. That's what's missing in today's education. Teachers like him.
Yeah.
He stood by you. He, you know, supported you, like everything. He was there. And I would always be like, I don't want you to teach me. Meanwhile, he was there. And, you know, funny story with him, because these are like life lessons and you remember them later down the road. There was a contest in New York City, right, for drinking and driving. And they wanted to put a big billboard. Whoever wins, they're going to put a big billboard of your art on the highways in New York City.
Oh,
So at that time, I wasn't qualified because I was actually behind on classes and they wouldn't let me go through. So Mr. Eisenstadt, Mr. E, like we used to call him, he fought for that. He wanted me to be in the competition. So I sat there and I did something. I did this drawing and I did the Grim Reaper. Yeah, big surprise for me. I did the Grim Reaper over a bunch of cars, you know, drinking and driving and stuff like that. A week later, they call us in and they announced the winners. Now, keep in mind, we were junior high school. All of these other schools were like high school and universities and this and that. And he opened up the letter and when he read first place, it was me.
wow.
And we all just froze. And we froze. And we couldn't believe that just happened. And then what they did is they gave you a prize. It was like $100. And then they put that art, they put it on every billboard along the highway.
Wow.
That's
For
awesome.
like 2 months. And I was like, wow. And I was so young. And I'm like, but it's those moments, you know, those moments that drive you. It's like, I did that. You know, my piece of art was on every billboard. I did this. I printed this. I did that. And that's the important thing in life. You know, did I get anything out of it? No, $100. You know what I mean? But it's, you know, the value of it, the integrity of it, everything that came through it, it still gives you a positive vibe about what you're doing. And that's what's important in life, you know? If you love what you do, just keep doing it.
Yeah. So we like to ask artists about process and so what is your kind of like your day-to-day or week-to-week process with getting pages done? Because you do everything by hand, right?
Everything by hand, absolutely nothing digital.
Right.
Nothing whatsoever. And I refuse to do digital. I don't know if you
really
guys
impressive.
are aware, I'm really, really against digital.
No,
Straight-
I wasn't aware that you were like very against it.
No, I just thought we assumed you did that's your process that like you do it too.
Yeah.
One of the previous people we interviewed, who does Curses Comics,
Mhm.
he's on your boat that he doesn't prefer. He said like he tried doing the digital and he's like, it doesn't work for me. I can't do it, and he's gone completely to hand drawn because that's what works for him.
For me personally, it's not that I can't do it. It's just that basically, first of all, I never tried. That's the truth. And second of all, I don't want to try. Because I've had from my peers and my people tell me, if you do digital, it's going to be awesome. and you're gonna nail it. And I'm like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
No, that sounds terrible. No.
No. To me, it's cheating. You know, it's like a process of cheating because it's like the pages that I showed you before, right behind me here.
Yeah.
This is all pencil, pen, and that's all it is.
Yeah.
So nothing.
I know I'm
Cheating.
shaking my head no, but like I actually agree. I know a lot of people that you know, prefer the hand touch, like the sensation of like feeling the materials, you know. And
It's not that. It's like it's a cheating process. You know, whether anybody likes it or not, and there's artists that are gonna get, you know, their panties in a bunch or get upset about it, but it's the truth. You know, what you see behind me, like all this black and all that,
Mhm.
okay? They just click a button and it fills it up.
Right.
You know, it's easy. And then there's other little tricks that they click here and there, and you know, boom, the sun is there, and boom, that circle is there, and that circle that takes us, you know, practice to do, and you know, real art, raw art. That's what I promote, raw art. You know, that's talent. Because pretty much right now, anybody could draw. I'm telling you, if you get a thing, a computer, and you get the system and all that stuff, you can learn it. You
I
can learn
used I used to use when I was growing up to age myself. I used like that old like super disc Apple things. I remember I was able to draw perfect circles because there's things that literally just let you draw a perfect circle.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm
And
saying.
And I never actually had to like. I always made my art through that way because I, unlike you, who had a good supporting art teacher, I had the art teacher who knew I was so bad, and he's like, "Can we just get him out of the class?" That was my solution: was make the perfect thing.
But to be fair, that art teacher was correct.
It was correct. I was not
That
nervous at all.
you should have never been in that room.
It was required.
You were bringing everyone else down.
Yeah, my negativity for my art just seeped out.
No, it's like a cheating process, and I'm not gonna put myself through that. You know, I've upset a lot of people with some comments I said about, you know, digital art. And then there are some artists that I know and who are digital artists. And after I said a few comments, you know what? They said, okay, let me go back to drawing pencils and inking and all that. And when they did, they're like, wow, I missed this.
Yeah.
You know, because if your neck doesn't hurt and your wrist doesn't hurt and your little fingers over here doesn't hurt, okay, and your arm's not doing a clicking sound like that, then you're not drawing. You're not drawing.
I mean, to be fair, the digital artists do get all those pains too because they're
Yeah, but
doing
it's
the
mostly
same
the
motions. They're
It's
just
more in the fingertips than the arm, because it's
Yeah.
clicking the mouse button over and over again.
What I want to know is
Okay.
can you see the difference when it's printed? Like, do digital creations bother you when you're reading comics?
The thing with digital creations, and I've said this a lot, is there's really, really great artists, right? And they turn to digital.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to mention any people.
Okay.
But the majority that have turned to digital, meaning mainstream artists from Marvel, DC, you could tell their art is suffering. It's not the same style. It's not what we're used to. It's quick. And you could tell the difference. And you could tell that it's done digitally, inking or penciling or whatever you have. So right there, you could tell they're suffering because right now, if you go walk into a comic book shop, about 75% is digital,
Right.
whatever books are on the shelves. And they all look the same. Art-wise, they look the same, unless it's like a painted cover or unless it's Alex Ross or something like that painted.
Yeah.
It looks the same.
I
And
see.
that's the problem.
So you can tell. You can tell that.
I mean, not only me as an artist, I mean, fans could tell too.
Right.
You know, and how you going to go to a convention show? When you go to a convention show, you want the original artwork displayed. You want to buy an original page.
Right. Which there's no way to do that.
What are
Yeah.
you going to do
No.
digital? Well, I'm going to send you guys a file. Where are you going to hang the file?
Yeah.
You want to put it up there, make it of value. So they're losing value in their books, in their trade, and in their work. Okay, yeah, you could say, okay, you're going to put it on NFT, whatever. NFT, yeah, you're going to put one, you'll make something, if you make something, and so on. But an original page, part of history, that's real history. A file is not history.
Right. Right.
A file is just a photocopy of something that you did. You know, so you're not going to be able to like hold this in your hands and smell it and say, wow, that smells like marker. That smells like something. and then put it on your wall
Yeah.
and say, okay, this is $25,000. Why? Because it's the real thing.
Right.
When an artist now, what are they gonna give you? They're gonna print you a print.
The original PDF. This is the original PDF we created.
And what are you gonna do with it?
Yeah.
It loses its value, and the artists don't realize that they're losing value in their own work. In their own work, they're losing value, because to be honest, a lot of artists make a lot of money from original art. You do commissions, you do this, but they make a lot of money from their original pages. If you go on websites and you see what David Finch pages sell for and Todd McFarlane pages sell for originals, we're talking thousands and thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah.
So why? Because that's what the word is, original. That's what it means. So wouldn't you rather have this on your wall, or you want me to send you a photocopy? You know, that's what it is. And that's why digital is hurting the market. It's hurting the business a little bit. And then to be honest with you, I could be wrong. I'm not going to hold it to myself, whatever. I don't think it's going to last too much, because fans will rebel and say, this is why we're here. We want to see hand-drawn art, real art. You know, you can't like replace now Alex Ross, Neil Adams, these people that we grew up with, people that are artists, okay, and then put the digital little thing in there. It doesn't work. I went to Neil Adams' office, right? He's a friend of mine. So I went to Neil Adams' office, and back then he wanted to do something.
We love Neil Adams.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really cool people.
Yeah.
He wanted to do something called motion comics. And we sat down and I was looking at him like, what is this? And it was like, I think X-Men or something. It's like the drawings were moving.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm like, yeah, it's cool. It's cool for like a gimmick. It's cool for something, you know, and then I turn around and I see Neil Adams artwork all over his office and in the hallways and all that, and statues. I'm like, but that's the real deal. No, that's the real deal. That's what value is. That's what real art is, you know? Obviously, the motion comic thing didn't take off too much because it's a fad.
It's hard to read digitally too. Like, I don't know if you feel that way too, Eric, but like, I always think the printed books are better.
It's hard. There's a reason why I always get the chance whenever I can. I'll get a physical copy because it's a lot easier. If I want to go to a specific page, I can flip to a specific page. If I want to go back, it's a lot easier. I know my brother-in-law, not to throw him underneath the bus, he does it digitally. But the reason why he does it digitally is not because he wants to. It's because my sister was like, we have run out of room, and we own a storage unit that is now running out of room because you've bought so many physical comics. At some point, if you want your kids to have toys, we're going to have to choose that, and you're going to have to get rid of the digital stuff. So for him, that's why he does it. But
I mean, environmentally, I try digital books first before I buy them because
yeah,
it's
good. You could try them out. And me, I can't stand to like sit there on my phone and read a digital comic on the computer, go up and down. You know, there's nothing like, you know, every night, this is not an exaggeration, every night, no matter how tired I am, how exhausted I am, I always manage to read 1 to 2 books a night before I go to bed. I make it a habit. Why? Because it's good practice, it's studying, you know, but I do it. But there's nothing like grabbing a book, put it in your hand, you know, and sitting there and reading it, flipping through it, looking at all the little mistakes that the artist made, you know, all this stuff. So that's the main thing. That's why comics are comics.
Okay, so going back, you do it hand by hand, and we've gone through why. So what's your process? How do you start a page?
It depends. It really, really depends. I usually get the scripts. Like right now, I got the script from Jorge Medina. He wrote an 8-page script for Bionic Caveman and Wonder Duck.
Okay.
And I would just lay out first, simple layouts, and then go to the actual page. I go a little bit backwards though. Usually the artists, what they like to do is like lay out the whole page on the 11 by 17 and then, you know, flesh it in and put in the actual pencils.
Okay.
Me, I can't stand that. You know, I like to see the action right away. So even if it's a boring panel or an action panel, I would just start with one panel and just pencil ink.
Oh, you finished the whole panel. Okay.
And then finish. and then jump on another panel. I could jump from that panel to this panel on purpose. Like just go, there's no process really on my behalf. There's no process. It's like, I just want, it's not like I want to rush it, but I'm so interested into it. I want to see the outcome. And sometimes deadlines and this and that, you want to finish up. So there's like not really a process on my behalf. It's just put the paper down, put the pencil down, and just
I'm laughing because, again, like your name, Psycho, it's like, what is this
Yeah.
Psycho doing to this comic book page?
Yeah,
There's no process.
There's no process.
He started off in the third panel and then went to the eighth panel, and then he's back to the third panel again. What's going on?
When I did this this morning, right?
Yeah.
You can see it right there.
Yep.
I started off with the head,
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
and then I got up to the
Mhm.
chest area, and then that was it.
Mhm.
I didn't know what the hell I was going to do with the rest of the body. Was I going to do a different pose, this and that? So I started inking the head, inking the chest, and then I worked myself down.
Wow.
The background that you see was not planned. It's not
Came
like,
in after.
okay, we need a background like this. I did these circles around, and then I just put the lines across. I'm like, you know what? I think that's going to look cool. If it doesn't look cool, I'll just put it all black. So it was just on the spot, done.
That's cool. I like that. I like intuitive ways of working.
This is basically a page also done today for Bionic Caveman Wonder Duck. This right here.
Mhm.
So this started off with the spaceship in the front. So I did the spaceship first. The script calls for Wonder Duck to be coming down, shooting all these, creatures and stuff.
Yeah.
And then first came the spaceship, then came this character here, and then came all the rest.
Wow.
So it's just, there's no process. There's no like step-by-step process. It's just go at it. Like if you have like a really nice hamburger in front of you, just go at it.
Well, it's
Make it however you want.
literally like improvisation at that point,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's scene painting, Eric, right? To throw that into improv terms.
Yes. See, it's really improv terms.
Yeah. Improv comedy, which we talk about frequently on this show,
Well, I mean, because there's a lot of
and that most people
I
don't
mean,
care
there's
about.
a lot in common. I mean, you're making a story up from your head. In this case, you have like a structure. You know what because you talk about that character that makes blood. He's got all this stuff, but you're still a lot of it's up to interpretation by you, the artist, and you working with your writer that you're trying to do it. I mean, you are taking this guy's character creation to life. So there's a lot that you do. You said, "Is this pose? What's this pose going to be? What's this background going to be?" That's all improvised by you.
Yeah, and you want to make it.
Today.
You want to make it fair to the creators too.
Yeah.
The writers. You want to get their vision.
Mhm.
Because you ask them questions. I'm not the type of guy like, okay, I think I know what he's doing. No, I'll ask them a question. I'll text them. I'll be like, what do you want me to really do here? I don't understand this sentence or something like that, Or what does this word mean? I never heard of this word before in my life, So it's just, you want to do right by the writers. They took the time to create the characters. They took the time to write it down, so you don't want to disappoint them. I had done a previous cover to Blood Sable, and in the beginning I thought it was cool, and they thought it, oh my God, it's awesome, I didn't like it. The next day I'm like, this looks like shit. I don't like it. So I came up with this one today. You have to criticize yourself.
Yeah.
That's very, very important. That's extremely important. Extremely important. Just because you think something looks right, and then the next day you look at it, because every morning when I get up, I go straight to the table and I'm like, let me see that thing I did again last night.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you look at it again, you're like,
Yeah.
that leg's a little weird, So I would literally rip up the page or just put it on the side and just say, you know what? I'm doing it again.
Yeah, that's the thing with going straight to inking and skipping kind of penciling everything first. You're committing the entire page
Mm-hmm.
in advance, and
Yeah. Cool.
yeah,
You're setting yourself up,
yeah,
basically, So you got to be on top of it, but you are setting yourself up. It could turn out right, it could turn out wrong, and then the next morning, you wake up and you're like, I thought that was great last night, but this actually sucks balls. So I'm not gonna bother with it. So you have to criticize them. You have to criticize yourself.
yeah.
I am my biggest critic. I criticize myself to death.
Too much. Would you say too much sometimes?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Sounds
As much as I think I'm awesome, I also think I'm shit. So it's like I criticize myself to death. You know,
Yeah.
I have to. You have to. In everything you do, you have to. You have
Right.
to take a step back and say, okay, not the greatest there, John. You know, you
Right.
could do better.
Or you're releasing stuff that is not good, and
Yeah,
that's
and,
not good either.
and that's your name. You know, that's what people look forward to. That's what your product that you're releasing. So, you put your name on something, it has to be done correctly.
Right.
You know?
How many pages can you draw in a day? Like, what's your record?
The most I've done in a day,
Yeah,
3.5.
3.5. Wow.
that's so impressive.
Three,
So
about 3.5.
obviously you've got so Samurai Ninja Rabbits. That's obviously like a throwback to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Mhm.
Were there any other cartoons that kind of inspired you growing up? You mentioned Thundercats, I know as well. So
Basically, main cartoons back then, Masters of the Universe, Thundercats, definitely, Voltron, Robotech, you know, all that. Pretty much what everybody watched.
Yeah.
It's not. I never really got inspired from cartoons to do like the comic book thing, but you know, it was something that I enjoy watching. I'm a huge fan of all the shows that came out back then, but mostly I was more inspired from comics in general. The first comic book I ever got was when my mom took me to a flea market, and I was like, I don't know how old, 7 years old or something, and I didn't know what comics were. And at the flea market, you know, they were like 5 cents, 25 cents. So I bought a bunch of them. I'm like, okay, start reading. And then I got in. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. And then I like the drawing. And then I'm like, maybe I could do a few things. Start stapling little pieces of paper together, drawing little, you know, comics together, and that was it.
Wow. Cool.
my nephew yesterday got his first ever like his own physical first comics yesterday because he was eating. We were eating brunch right by the comic book store, and so uh, he got hit. So I said, I'll buy you some 50-cent comics, and he's already worn a hole in them through them because he's reading them. Because like when you say you always read them at night, it reminded me of that because he was like wearing them so thin because he was so excited. They tore a hole in one of them already.
No, that's the joy of it, you know.
Yeah.
You sit down and you can read every panel, read every word, and you know, you don't have to like hurt your eyes on the screen to see the digital and all that. That's another thing, you know. You're gonna download a digital comic, you're just hurting your eyes. You know, you're gonna sit there and try to read. Now, if you notice, the word balloons are even smaller. The text is even smaller, even the printed versions.
Right.
I don't know why. It's like I think they do it for a reason. They want you to read what the writer wrote. If you notice, there's a pattern. Marvel's been doing it a lot, and so has DC, and so have a few other companies. The word balloons and the text is very, very small, and it's different colors. You get brown with the yellow, you get this with that.
Hmm.
That's to actually let you read the story. The writer wants you to read.
Yeah.
That's their gimmick now, what they want you to do.
I think the stories are getting more complex too.
I mean, the big names now, they kind of screwed up lovely with the characters and everything. You know, they want to change this, they want to change that, they want to do this, they want to do that. That's cool. You know, that's fine. But the way they're changing everything at a rapid pace, they're just shoving it in your face. This
Yeah.
guy's
They're money grabs for sure.
They
Yeah.
also,
Yeah.
they know too. They also the power that they can do a reset because DC's done so many resets. So is Marvel. They're like, the story's it's not going so great. We'll just reset it. Up, start over from again. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah, and it's not cool because you know DC did rebirth and rebirth this and rebirth that. You know, it's like, come on, you know, guys, relax a little bit, and then change Spider-Man, and then change this, and you know what? You want to do something different? Create something different.
Well, then the multiverse. Let's talk about multiverse. Just like rewriting everything. Oh nope, that was a multiverse. That was a different world. You know.
I
Yeah.
still remember DC when they did the New 50 or not. Yeah, it's New 52 with the they answered every single problem, every single hole. Like, oh yeah, the Superman Boy Prime punched the multiverse. That's where every single like storyline that we screw up because of that. It's like the
Yeah.
biggest cop out I've ever seen. Like, yeah, we screwed up, but this is the explanation. It's like
Or
one panel.
did we figure it out? Like.
That's why those things were created. Multiverses and places like that.
Yeah.
They're the biggest excuse for everything. You know, if they screw up here, they'll blame it on that. They'll be like, okay, that was that dimension, that was that universe. You know? So their, you know, get out point. That's their excuse for it. You know, if you screw up, you screw up. If somebody writes a story and it's not good, it's not good.
Yeah, you put Andrew Garfield in as Spider-Man, it's no good. You do another one with and then you bring them all back for the next one. Yeah.
That was fine. You see how much they're dragging the trailer for the new movie.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
everything's marketing, everything's business, everything's, you know, of course it is. But the multiverse stuff and, you know, all this other dimension stuff, it's a gimmick. It's just, in case we screw up and they don't like it. You know, if in case they don't like Norse Spider-Man or whatever version of Spider-Man is coming out now. You know, so that's all it really is. It's just a gateway. If we fuck up, that's it. We got that to put it on.
That's always like what I do love about like you get. I'm not saying like Marvel and DC don't have creative writers; they do, but there's some super creative writers with independence. Like again, I'm going back to your Blood Sword guy because I'm really excited about this guy because, as you said, the possibilities are endless. I'm like, I want to see what this guy goes. I mean, I'm hoping he's not a cookie cutter. Oh, there's a bad guy threatening the world. Time to fight him. Just because like his character just could be so creative and like. Does he solve problems? Like, is he like, oh God, like I wonder if he's gonna go comedy. Like, I'm really hungry. Time to cook up some eggs and he makes a blood knife or whatever.
No, it's not gonna be, you know, stupid stuff like that at all. Because I would probably even refuse to have that, you know, to resort to doing, you know, stupid shit like that, like okay, now blood cookie cutter or you know, a blender.
Time to go golfing, bloody golf clubs.
Yeah, golf clubs. No. I will tell you, he has in the first issue. It's like a disc, a blood disc that comes out, throws it, which is awesome. Blood swords, blood daggers, stuff like that. You know, and fantasy stuff. You know, whatever you can create a weapon out of blood. You know, and not pizza cutters and you know cookie cutters. No, nothing like that. I hope not.
Episode 2. Time to eat.
Yeah, time to
cutter.
If I draw a Blood Sable cover with him with a pizza cutter coming out of his hand, that's it.
That'd be a good variant, though. Just saying.
Yeah, if they want to do a parody of it, sure. You know, because that's exactly what it would be. It would be a parody.
Yeah, based on like the character, I assume.
Something like that. No, but the character is very, very good story. Very cool character. I'm looking forward to it, to getting it done. It's 40 pages. The first issue is 40 pages.
Oh wow!
It's a nice monster book, you know.
Yeah.
And also, I did another cover for Scare Fair. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Scare Fair. My good buddy David Montoya, he has Scare Fair, which is going on this October in Apple Valley, California. He has a great list of horror people and stuff like that. And they asked me to do a Scare Fair exclusive cover, which I did.
Oh, cool.
And I think they're going to promote it as a hologram cover also, which you can only get it there. So that one actually, I have it right here. It's right there. That's the Scare Fair cover.
Oh, nice.
That's really cool.
So there's going to be an exclusive. There's going to be all hologram.
Nice.
Once it gets
Yeah.
done. So that's going to be pretty cool. You know, we also did this month what we did is Paranoid American Comics. NASA, Never a Straight Answer, is about the moon landing being fake.
Oh, cool.
That's the story that they're promoting. And this is Tales of Midnight. I think this is coming out in December. The variant cover I did for Midnight Comics. Right there. You see, independent creators, they have good characters. They have interesting characters, great ideas that nobody knows about, unfortunately. You know, nobody knows about these things. This is the Blood Sable cover that I didn't like.
Oh, yeah.
This one I didn't like.
Yeah.
The Blood Sable cover that I did, and I rejected it myself. Everybody rejected it, so I didn't like this.
He's kind of making a waterfall behind him.
Yeah, I didn't like this at all. I was like, you know what, guys, I don't like this at all. And this is we did this for Finish Line Comics, Immortal Era.
Mm-hmm.
See, people out there, they have good ideas, great characters, fantastic ideas that nobody knows about. That nobody.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit because you touched on networking a bit, but how do you market yourself, and like kind of what's your strategy there? Obviously, you do a good job. You're on a podcast, so
But yeah,
so like you have some strategy, you know.
no, marketing is basically, anywhere you can market your brand. So I'm pretty much very well connected. So friends, word of mouth, Instagrams, Facebooks, all that kind of stuff, interviews, podcasts, YouTube, all that, wherever you could, always put yourself in somebody's face. Every opportunity that you could get. That's the best marketing that you could give, because, if you know something's coming out, you might see a billboard tomorrow and say, "Oh my God, this is coming out, this movie, this thing," and then you forget about it.
Yeah.
Life gets in the way. And then 2-3 weeks later, you see the same billboard, and you're like, "Oh shit, I forgot about it. I didn't see it." So that's you always have to be constant, promoting yourselves, constantly out there, on your stories, on this. Just shove it in people's face, whether they like it or not. That's the best way to market yourself. If nobody wants to hear from you, make them hear from you. That's the main goal here. That's how you market yourself. That's how you brand your name. Like the guys that Catch the Craze, they have a podcast and they have a YouTube channel, and crazy marketing all over the place, and it's grown. It has grown. They have a lot of artists on their shows. They have a lot of musicians on there. They have from all sorts of entertainment. You have to contact. You have to be annoying. That's the best way to explain it.
And Eric, he's telling the truth. He's been annoying since I booked him. No, I'm kidding. Constant contact. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I understand.
You have to. Every day that you have a chance, dumb creators, annoy the living shit out of people.
Yeah.
DM them.
I do think it's good advice though to like people who are starting in comics or starting in any kind of art form. It's hard to like just post more than once, or like you have to just like tell a story constantly.
You can't be on there once. You have to be there on there 3-4 times a day.
Yeah.
Leave a message, do this, do that, post a story. I did these covers, I put them up right away. Whether it be Facebook, this and that, I put them up right away. On the stories, on the post, on this, on that. You have to.
I was related to that. I was talking to Bill Arnett, who he runs the Bug House Theater, which is a small improv theater in Chicago, and he was talking about that. He's like, the people they say succeeds are the people that are the ones that like were going to each place and saying like, "Hey, I'm promoting my show. I'm promoting my show. I'm promoting my show." He's like, as he puts it, he's seen super talented improvisers, super talented artists that if they literally just put in the legwork, to promote themselves, they would have made it big, but they just kind of gave up halfway through, or never even. They said it was too much work and never did.
Yeah, it is too much work. Let's be honest, it is. It's a lot of work, whether you're promoting a podcast or YouTube, or you're promoting a book. Okay, it's a lot of work. You got to either do it or don't. You got to really set your mind to it and say, okay, I'm going to do this or I'm not. But if you're going to do it, you got to give it your all. You got to be there night and day and night, answering all messages, answering all, everything that you could find. Just answer, send, promote, because you never know. You never know who's going to pick up on it. You never know who's watching.
Right.
Or listening, for that matter. You don't. And believe me, that's how things happen in life.
Very true. Yeah, very true.
Very true.
That's how things happen, that's for sure.
Well, cool. Hey, Psycho, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And despite your name, you're not as psycho as I thought you were. I thought you were going to spend the entire time just blabbering about, I don't know, skeletons in your head.
Wanted me to yell at you.
I thought it was going to be the Monty Python sketch where you insult, or where like you spend the entire time just insulting the guy.
No, I'm actually a nice guy.
A nice psycho.
We said we say your given name, but I kind of like that we didn't. We know you have a name, but let's let our listeners direct message you or ask you themselves.
It's good marketing also.
Yeah.
If you're gonna put John on there, it's good marketing. That's why I chose the name too. It's good marketing.
Well, it's like it's easy to remember too. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a difference between John and there's a difference between Undertaker.
Yeah.
You know, there's a difference between Steve Austin and Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's marketing. It's
Yes.
you know, it is what it is. That's why I went ahead and used this name versus my regular name. Because they'll be like, okay, from Psycho. Who the hell is Psycho? What is this Psycho? And what is this art like? You know, it's all marketing brand. Like you guys, you have a really cool name. Dumb Comic Creators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank
you
you.
should, in my opinion, you should really promote that in a way because it's like it's really catchy, and people are going to be like, okay, do they have a bunch of fucking retards on the show or what's going on? You know, like who's on this show? Why are they called Dumb Comic Creators? You know, so marketing on that, you know, it's your brand. That's
Right.
works. You know, you should really invest in the name that you have and just put it out there. You know, DM every artist that you think of.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's other podcasts, by the way. Let me give you a quick thing. There's a podcast out there that don't have viewers or anything, listeners, and they have contacted people like Jim Lee. And
Oh yeah.
people-
Oh yeah.
And they're like, okay, sure, I'll be on. And it works. It works. Never think the person that you're gonna never speak to that you won't. You will.
Right.
Eventually, you will. You know, just promote yourself, make it happen. That's the only thing. And I love the name Dumb Comic Creators.
Thank you.
It's funny when you first say it. People are like, "What's that about?" You know, and it makes people want to watch. Like, okay, I'm just gonna go check it out. Let me see what the hell this is all about. Why do they mean by dumb comic creators? You know, so
Well, we love the name Psycho.
We love the
What does
Psycho,
that mean?
too.
What kind of psycho is he?
Is he Is he psycho or just psycho?
Or
But
just
it turns out he's
A
just
little
psycho.
crazy. Really
He's a
crazy?
little crazy.
Yeah.
probably thought I was gonna come out here like,
Oh yeah. Had no idea. Turns out you're just a guy who likes to knock on doors, get things done.
Yeah,
yeah, pretty much.
you're psycho in your work ethic. You're like really like we gotta do this. We're really pushing ourselves.
No,
So you're
that's
psycho.
it.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I've had
But-
like kind of a Zen or like teachings from the master, Kung Fu, the TV show style. Maybe
I
just
w- I
because
was
you're bald and like, I don't know.
I was expecting you to say, take this pebble from my hand halfway through, and I wasn't gonna lie. Then I'd be like, we're on Zoom, we can't do that. And he's like, if you were a master, that's why you guys aren't masters, because you don't know how to do that over Zoom.
Well, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Chris.
Okay. Well, thanks again. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.